Hey there, I'm Godswill, and on this channel, I break down PLC programming using Studio 5000 in a way anyone can understand, from ladder logic to real-world automation. So let's learn, simulate, and grow together. Now, in this video, I will be talking about configuring our local I/O modules. And I/O simply stands for input and output modules. So this lesson will teach us how to add, a local I/O module, and it will also teach us how to configure a local I/O module. The I/O configuration for an application is configured in the controller organizer, and it shows all of the modules being used by this project. And this is found in the I/O configuration folder that we have here. So we'll be looking at a local versus a remote I/O. And a local I/O module is an I/O module that is located in the same chassis with the same controller running the project file. We have two types of I/O modules. There are the digital I/O modules and the analog I/O modules. So we're going to talk about the digital I/O modules. Okay, and in this, first, to use an I/O module in an application, we must add the I/O module to our project. So if you come to the I/O configuration tab area here, you realize that we have a backplane 1756A7 chassis that is already there, and then our controller is there. So this is our controller, which is at slot 0. All right, so that is it. But to be able to add, you need to come to the I/O configuration folder, and you right click, and then you see new module. So here in this new module is where you will add your I/O modules, whether it's digital or whether it's analog. So let's proceed to add in a new module. So once you click that, a dialog box will pop up, and it's going to tell us or give us different informations here that we need to choose from. So if you already have the part number of the module that you want to add to your project, so you could go ahead and type it here. In this section here, you can type it here. So if you don't actually have, you can decide to say, okay, the module I want to add is a digital module. So first you clear all filters, you come to this module type category filters, you uncheck all module type vendor filters, you uncheck. So now when you look at this section, you realize that there is nothing there. Now for you to be sure of what you're doing, assuming you want to add a digital I/O module, so you select digital, and then you come over to the module type vendor filters, and you look for the brand. So for us here, we want to use the Rockwell Automation Allen-Bradley. So once you select Rockwell, you're going to see a list of Rockwell's digital input and output. So here you can actually select whatever part number or type of module you want. So for us, let us add this 1756 IB 16.10 volts digital module. So we can add it here, right? We can add it here, and we'll click on create. So once you click on create, it's going to bring up another dialog box. So here you're going to name it. You're going to name your module. So let's assume we want to call it this module is an input module for, let's assume, maybe for transmitters. All right, so we have to now come and select our slot number, because remember the controller is in slot 0, so we have to select the correct slot number so that we will be able to ensure that our project, like our application, is safe. This is just like a little safety measure from Allen-Bradley. So once you're done with that, you click on OK, another, and then that's all. So once you close this, you realize that your digital input card has been added to your I/O configurations tab. So that is how you can actually add a digital I/O module. So there are other settings here for this digital module, and let's just go ahead and double click on this. All right, so now it takes us back to our initial. So we can come to connection here, and you'll see that there is something we call the requested packet interval, RPI, measured in milliseconds. So this RPI simply means requested packet interval, just as the name is spelled out there. And this RPI specifies the rate at which the module multicasts its data. So you can actually set it here, you can do the setting here and it will work. Then we have what we call the inhibit module. Now this is a useful tool in system commissioning, so we'll discuss that in a later video. Then we also have the major faults on controller if connection fails while in run mode. So when we're going to be talking about how to go online, how to upload and download programs from and to the PLC, we will talk about this major fault check. But to just give a brief, selecting this major fault on the controller, selecting it, it will cause a major fault to be generated in the controller, which we can now use to troubleshoot. So that is just what this is. You can check for other things here, the configuration. So everything looks okay. So let me uncheck this, and once you're done, you click on OK. So that is how you can set up or configure your digital input module. To configure your what we did before was the digital input. So to configure your digital output module, you still follow the same process as configuring the digital input module. So you come to your I/O configurations tab, right click on new module, and then you'll see this dialog box coming out. So from here, just as we did before, we will uncheck here just to save our time. We'll come to digital, and then we will come to Rockwell Automation. So now this will show us a list of digital inputs and outputs that are available here. So we're going to choose this 17560816 point AC output. So we're going to create, and this will take us to the another dialog box where we can just say this is for assuming, let's say this is for Romomasi, for example. Then we will choose our slots. Remember, we have to select our slot, so this will be in slot 3. We'll come to connection, and you can set up your RPI. Come to module info configuration. You will notice that the data here, what we need to configure here, is different from it's a bit different from what we had for the digital input. So here we have other things that require configuration, and we will talk about this in our next in another video. So this is just what you will do. So if you check the status here, it's saying creating. This is just how you can create your digital module, and once you're done with your setup, you click OK, and the digital module, output module, would have been added in the IO configurations tab. All right, so that is how you can add a digital output module and digital input module to your project. Thank you.